level, but it was the astronauts visiting the moon and all the details. I was just like, these guys are not going to go for all these details. So we winged it. So, and then, we did a little discussion on what you want to be when you grow up. And he has been doing some discussion on, with the kids on work and, simple things that'll get you there. We did a few little surveys. They asked me some questions and I got to answer some questions. They were a good group of kids, quiet, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I don't know, I think in my past life I was a teacher, but it was a lot of fun. The kids were open to any suggestions. One question that was really fun is if you could change anything about your school, what would you do? What's the number one answer? Yes, longer recess. And but it was interesting because theirs was, and I knew it was coming, but they said, if we could have a longer lunch recess. And I said, okay, so is it that your recess isn't long enough, or you don't get long enough lunch to have recess? And they said long enough lunch to have recess. And I was like, yeah, I hear that a lot. So, and sadly, they don't like their lunches over there either. I'm sorry to report, but you know how I feel about all that. But they were a good group of kids, and I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to doing it again. And I guess I'm going to have to look for some books if I do that again, because I got to bring my own books. So it was fun. So that's my part. And sorry, I do want to say to the public and everyone here, sorry I missed a couple of board meetings. Since I retired, we've taken some vacations, and the last one took us on a tour that we weren't expecting, so we had to come the long way home. Took us 2 more days to come home than it should have, and then the other vacation was more planned. But I'm sorry, but
Oh, you're here now.
My family and life, and I'm here now, and I'll do what I can from now on.
Written communications from the public. None. Comments from employee representatives. Who's first?
Good evening, board members, members of the public actually here in person to the end, and anyone out there in the City Teachers Association. Tonight, both YCSD and YCTA have sunshine for negotiations for the 22-23 school year. If you read our sunshine, we gave you a preamble that really talks about the challenges we've all risen to as we move through this challenging year. And I'm here today to continue our commitment to a positive and supportive environment in our classrooms and our schools. That takes our teamwork and all of our efforts. One of those pieces is, of course, to attract and retain the highest quality educators for our students. And we know what that means about salary increases and salary increases that might possibly keep up with the rising costs of living for all of us. But it also means other things that affect the job satisfaction. How do you feel? How does it feel to work for Yuba City Unified? Those things are really important as well. But it's also important, how are our kids feeling? And I think Paul Plumas has done a wonderful job of telling you, our kids aren't okay right now. And in some ways, our staff aren't okay. This has been hard. I think we kind of thought we'd get back to normal faster than we would. I don't think we quite anticipated how hard it might be. How hard it might be on kids, and how hard it might be on staff. And that's all of us. So our kids need us, they're counting on us, and we can do this together. We have bargaining dates coming up on May 5th, May 11th, May 18th, and May 25th. That's 4 dates in the month of May. That's a lot of time to get into negotiations. But we hope that we can reach a timely agreement so that we're not 3 years behind like we were last time. So it's our hope that we're going to get this done more quickly because we got other things to work on. And the biggest thing we got to work on right now is a supportive school environment that supports our students to be ready to learn. And that takes a lot. We can't get students to learn if they're challenged with mental health issues, if they're challenged. And those things manifest for so many of our kids. And we need to take that stigma away from mental health challenges. For starters, stop going to mental illness and recognize we all have challenges with our mental health. What Paul has continued to bring to you is this is going to be a team effort. this is going to take all hands on deck. It's going to take all hands on deck to address the mental health challenges of our students, but to also address the how do we get them back to being students. They had a year and a half where I don't think we know how much trauma they endured, how much they didn't do, how passive they became. For some of them, they became passive, and somehow or other, it's hard to get them to engage at all. For others, they engage in ways we don't want them to engage in. That's a safety issue we all have to address as well. We have to focus on their mental health. We have to focus on their social emotional learning. We have to focus on their motivation. There's only so much a teacher in the classroom can do to encourage students to say, come on. We need to all be on board to figure out how we're going to help motivate students. We have to be on board in how we're going to establish clear behavior expectations for students. All of that is going to take some communication, some collaborations, some creative outside the box thinking. We got a lot of brainstorming to do, a lot of work to do, and it's going to take all of us to get it done because our kids are not okay. And I can tell you from listening to YCTA bargaining unit members, it's been hard. It's taken its impacts. It's caused you to some days question, I used to think I was good at this, and today I don't feel so good because I'm not meeting the needs of all my students. We've all been trained to that we leave no child behind. And it was a mantra we had, but we really took it to heart. We want to meet the needs of all our students, and we can't do it alone in the classroom, and we need to all do this together. So I look forward to being able to do this. I look forward to us as we conclude this year, but also as we begin next year. We need to begin on a different note with different expectations for the future. So I look forward to that. I want to address a few other items. Albert Powell is very happy with the commitment from the district to return Lisa Drummond, Matt Wall, and Audrey Bakke to Albert Powell to bring back their full contingent. I got to tell you, Albert Powell teachers do great work with our kids who need some alternative education options. They're also happy that their former principal is coming back, Chris Renzullo. So good things for Albert Powell. But I will continue to remind us all that those alternative education options are part of this whole package of how we're going to meet the needs of all of our students, that we're going to leave no students left behind, that failure is not going to be an option for our students, and that's going to require other alternative education options for our students. With the move of Chris Renzullo, AK is happy to welcome back Rocco Greco to Yuba-Sutter Unified. So Rocco brings a positive vibe, that's what we say, and a healthy dose of enthusiasm. And I think we're all going to need that. I remember sitting through Rocco's PD at the RV library one year. We need that level of enthusiasm, that level of commitment to, we are going to meet the needs of our kids and we're going to do it all together. So glad to have Rocco back at Yuba-Sutter Unified. And finally, I'd like to share with Mary and Shelley, I also read at Park Avenue, but not this year. And it is really fun to do that. Read across America, read to kids. I brought my own book. It was on the show of my year. And I thought it was an inspirational book to read to our Park Avenue kids. Because she is a Hispanic descent from Brooklyn and the Bronx. One of my New York City things to come through there. But it is great to be able to bring to Park Avenue kids people who are role models for our students. So glad you could join at Park Avenue and help them out.
It was fun, I loved it.
It So our campuses are great places. We're all doing a lot of good work. We just got a lot to do. So
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone who's still here out on Zoom land, board, staff, and guests. So, one of everything, retired guests, so this is just well, we thank you for sunshining us. This is the first time I've ever been sunshine in the year before it's actually taken place. So you're gonna throw me off guard. Working on that proposal, you will get it, I promise. I'm really excited that I'm partnering with Pam over here to bring some of the free college opportunities to our TK, a recruitment night to give some information to hopefully bring some new employees in with this idea to get their go all the way through a free college program and end up as a teacher. So that'll just be that pipeline right into your unit from mine to yours. So that's perfect, right? not all this here, so I apologize. Tomorrow's Administration Professionals Day, and I know that here at the district office they're planning something for their folks, but make sure that if you're at a school site to thank those office folks who have done an amazing job through COVID, who have had to do things that they never thought that they would do, answer never-ending phone calls, do reports that were way outside of what they're used to doing. So they've really stepped up, along with everyone else, to get us through this whole entire endeavor that we've went through. I don't even know what to call it anymore. I'm gonna do, let's see, we did training survey. A couple board meetings ago, I talked about some classified training, and we collaborated together, and I just got the results back from my survey that I'm going to share with you. I will get that in your email. But it was really interesting is that within 24 hours, 20% of my membership responded, which is really great because probably 20% of them don't even check their emails, right? I mean, we're talking food service and custodial and things like that just don't check it on a regular basis. So to get this, these responses was great. Overwhelmingly, the largest percentage, everybody apparently wants first aid training. They feel like that's really necessary. And when we're out there and we're seeing these, you never know what you're going to see. It's good to have that first aid training.
That's right.
Go with that. The other thing was active shooter, gang violence, drugs in schools. Those were all up there in like almost the 50 percentile. So I think that our staff is really talking that they want to see some things that's going to help them work with students to get them through their educational goals and keep them safe. Let's see. I'm going to touch base on performing arts because that was such a wonderful presentation that team did. My son is also a product of Yuba City High School's performing arts. He was the very last class of third graders to take violin. He studied under Corey. He went on through middle school and then a high school played for Corey, played in outside community orchestras, and still is teaching now, and he's not teaching music theory or anything like that, but he is at a charter school, so at charter schools they stretch that teaching credential quite a bit. So he has had to teach some music classes so far, and he's now playing in the community orchestra up in Nevada City. So there is another successful person that has come out of your performing arts program, and third grade was such a key year. Yeah, I think we saw some decline after that. I have two, we used to do shout outs, and we kind of stopped. I have two shout outs. James Gregg from our IT department. Okay, he's my rock star because I was being so good. We came back from spring break. I had an email all ready to go, send it out Monday morning. I attached a form that I wanted people to fill out to order t-shirts, but unfortunately I attached a form that had my own personal information in there. So I sent out my Discover card to 550 people. And James was on the ball and pulled those emails, and I really appreciate that. And also, Dennis, I will not say his name right. Is Nikki in here? Over there. Shumsky? Did I do that right? He's an IT guy, and he helped us with our recent ratification, and we did an online ratification that had a lot of work to it. It was supposed to be this easy process, but nothing's ever easy when you have to do mail merges and stuff. So I really appreciate Dennis for all of his work there to get that ratification so that Friday, here's my best surprise, because Mike told me that our retro isn't coming till next month, and that's what I always tell my members, because I figure our philosophy is nobody complains when it comes early. Well, it came early, and it's coming Friday, and we're super excited about that. So we do thank you for getting all that out. And lastly, I would like the board to consider having some recognition, monthly recognition of employees, annual recognitions. A lot of districts will do a classified member of the month, a certificated member of the month. I think our employees deserve it, and I think it's a long time that this has happened. So I would really appreciate it if you would think about that and maybe bring it forward for board action in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Comments from board members? Jasmine.
I know Doreen and I have been talking about this previously about CPI, and I know Doreen is working on it with our employee groups too, about getting training out. I think one of the things that I just want to emphasize is we have so many part-time employees that aren't part of the union. And whatever trainings when it comes to CPI, their role sometimes calls for them to, you know, have to be placed in a predicament where CPI is needed. So I think maybe if you guys haven't already thought of that, to just branch out to include our part-time employees as well. The other thing that I wanted to talk to the board about and the community about was, you know, we've heard a lot about social emotional needs of our students, and I wholeheartedly believe that as much that we can do, I feel like it's not enough. But on the flip side of that, I want to touch base on the learning gaps. And we've had really 2 school years that have been disrupted by COVID. And there's 2 folds to it. One is obviously where kids are performing. You have 3rd graders that, you know, are struggling to read, phonics. I mean, those are foundational skills that are gonna support them throughout their schooling. And then supporting families, and I know we have some great resources where we're supporting that aspect. I just kind of want to shed some more light or put a spotlight on that. But then the other piece too is, you know, the expectation on teachers, and I know the Dina kind of touched base on that, but you know, what are we asking our teachers to do when they have 3rd graders that are entering in that don't know how to read, and you know, they're working on higher level math that involves reading, so it's impacting them all around. You know, I can just imagine how hard that is, how hard that's been, but also how hard that's going to be in the coming years, and how can we better support staff as well as the students. So just kind of want to shed some light on just a couple things that have been bouncing back and forth for me. So.
I just have one question. It's almost May, which makes my thoughts turn towards graduation. We haven't had a meeting of the graduation committee. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but I know that last year we kind of divvied up what school everybody was going to go to. So I would imagine that'll be coming pretty quick.
Yes, so for the middle school promotions, the board divvies up, and then if you can attend both of the conference by high school graduations and Alfred College generally on the same night as Yuba-Sutter High School. So Laura, we have the list. Yes. There you go. So you can sign up.
Good. Any other comments from board members? Comments from the superintendent?
Just some reminders of some dates. On May 12th, we have the government liaison meeting. On May 16th, we have governance training. And on May 4th at 4 o'clock, there's a facilities committee meeting that was just set up today. And members on the facility committee are member Quilty,
Right.
member Cavoli, and member Roscoe. So 4 o'clock on the 4th.
Yep, I have it on my calendar.
Okay, the next board meeting is May 10th. Open session begins at 7 p.m. We have this going around. Your preference, I don't know if some of you need to check your schedules and send it by email as well or something.
Yes, continue to bring it back.
Okay.
And if you're not signed up, you'll get a call.
That's all for tonight. Any other business for the good of the order? May I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion from Ms. Betty Cavoli and a second from Mr. Roscoe to adjourn tonight's meeting. See you on May 10th.
Thank you.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.